Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this early Monday morning. I wanted to respond and expand a bit on a question slash comment from Cold War Prepper on my last video from yesterday. He posed a question that definitely made me think about it for a while, and I'm going to talk about that. Also have a very good verse to share here towards the end. Please stay tuned for that. I'm also going to share the key prep that we need to really be focused on right now. Well, several things, but there's a big one that probably don't talk about enough. The video I was talking about yesterday, I was going on about some things, some observations over this weekend that we had when we were out and about, and the look on people's face, and people look stressed. And Cold War Pepper had a comment that basically said, I'll paraphrase, he said, "How much time do you believe we have?" And he mentioned that things are rapidly hitting the fan. I agree. And that's a good question. And what I've been talking about was how people are looking out there. And it's not like we just noticed it yesterday. We've been noticing it for a while. I just had the urge to talk about it and bring it out yesterday. But people do look stressed. They have, and on some, I see a straight up 1,000-mile stare. And there could be several reasons for that I didn't go into and think about yesterday, but thinking about it last night and all, and we've been seeing this, like I said, for a while. But the 1,000-mile stare, look of bewilderment. I know there's some other people commenting that people look shocked and people are freaking out over prices. $7 for I forget the item now. It was a dairy item. What was it? Milk or something? I can't remember. But people are, even people that have had their heads in the sand, if you have to buy groceries, which most of us do, you are getting hit in the face with it. And if you've been denying it for a while, it is in living color now. It's out there. So, and people are freaking, they're not prepared, and I think that somebody else made a good point that the people that are really freaking out just now are the ones that are probably not very prepared. And when things really do, when that fan speeds up, these people are going to be the ones we really have to look out for. And what I mean by that is look out for the way they're going to react, because they're going to be the ones desperate and come knocking on your door. I believe that we can help, and we can help to a certain point. I was listening to something last week that said that in an emergency, let's say a power out situation that goes on more than 72 hours. After that is when things really break down. The first 24 hours, people tend to help each other out more. Things are more calm, like, oh, this is going to be resolved. And there's more people helping. And you got the people that really like to help are going to be doing that. But after you reach the 72 hour point, about 3 days or so, that stops. That stops, and things break down. And I'm probably, and there were different theories on why, but of course, the people that are the helpers are starting to focus more on themselves and the family, those close to them, and the ones who are bad or nefarious realize that after about 3 days or so, law and order has broken down, and they can get away with whatever they want to get away with, and then that's a factor too, and that would definitely play into it. But I believe I agree with Cold War Pepper that the fan, things are starting, have been hitting the fan, and the fan is moving, and I think it's about to speed up. And that can happen in a moment's notice. I think it can take people by surprise, and it will take people by surprise. And we must double down on our preparation. Again, what I was observing yesterday, we were observing, and we just went to a few places. And look of shock and awe for sure. I think, and I made a comment about how people look, and they look unkept. They look disheveled. And I saw a lot of, and I see that in my work, and I'm used to seeing that in my work, okay, and what we do. But to see it on more of a bigger scale and compare that to what it looked like maybe even a few years ago, it's a big stark contrast. And so I think part of that is people are bewildered, and they may be in a little bit of a panic. I think some of it could be mental illness, over the last few years. And somebody else made a great comment about people aging. And I think that's a big thing too, that I think dog years, I mean, a lot of us have aged more years, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, it looks like, in the last 3 years over what we've been going through. That's a good point too. But I think mental illness is part of it. I think people, when people are depressed, and this extends to the employees too. It's not just customers. We saw some employees that look like, man, I tell you what, if you took the blue vest off of them at Walmart, I wouldn't have thought they were an employee. I mean, I would think, I don't know. I don't know what I would I don't know what I would think. But I think that a lot of people are struggling. I think for some folks, especially if it's depression, even anxiety, it might have been a big struggle for them just to get out of the home, out of the house, or wherever they're living, and get out there. That could be the biggest challenge of their day or their week, actually. So we have to keep that in mind too. We don't know what people are going through as well. So we do have to keep that in mind too. But yeah, I think a lot of people are just struggling in multiple ways, and the inflation and the times now are not helping. It's just not helping. And I was thinking about it yesterday too. I mean, we don't dress fancy by any means. I was talking about the way people were dressed or not dressed, but we don't. I mean, we jeans, a t-shirt, maybe the khakis if we're going after church, or just I like to wear the khaki outdoor pants or gray pants that you get from like Academy sportswear, that are flexible, that you can work outside in. I wear that. I mean, so we're not like dressed up or nothing, but I still felt out of place. I mean, I felt like I was definitely not the gray man, gray woman, Miss Dog. We weren't blending in, that's for sure. And almost like maybe we need to dress down, depending where we are, where we're going. We may need to, I don't know. I usually wear a hat, when I'm out like that. So maybe we need to think about being gray. We never know what's going on. Something to think about. But how long before total SHTF, things just really spiral out of control? I think a flashpoint, when we talk about flashpoints or events that could be a tipping point, it's hard to predict, of course, hard to say, but I think we're closer than most people believe. And when you're talking about tipping points, things that could make us really spiral out, WW3 is a big concern of mine. It has been. If you've been listening to me, I talk about it, but I think this spring, summer is a danger zone. I think things could really spiral there. Even if it's not WW3 or preceding that, a direct kinetic conflict with Russia or China, that could be a tipping point too, because I think you would see a massive run on stores, banks as well. But you want to talk about empty shelves and food shortages, man. I mean, shortages on a lot of things. That would ramp up big time overnight. It really would. So we want to still be in a position to where we don't have to get into that mess. We don't have to jump out there and be in the middle of that panic. That's the big thing. And so it could be one of those types of events. It could be something, just an extended power outage for various reasons. It wouldn't even have to necessarily be a cyber attack. It could be, especially if it's widespread, But like I said, a power outage that's over 48 to 72 hours, I think things would break down very quickly. So, so those things are kind of sticking out in my mind. A cyber attack, a power outage for various reasons, conflict, other things, of course, could happen. A quick financial craziness meltdown where the banks aren't working, and people can't get access to their money, that kind of something like that. Communications breakdowns. So, like I said, I think we need to double down on preparing. Maybe to think about going more gray, blending in when we're out. Not a bad practice to get into. I think the most important prep, and we can talk about food, water, security, defense all day long, but I think spiritual readiness, and I've talked about this, and I've mentioned this before, of course, but spiritual readiness is something we have to stay on top of. You know, you don't have to go to church every Sunday to be spiritually ready or a believer, but we have to just remember to stay right with God, stay close, follow Jesus. He is our rock, our redeemer. It's like the dogs have arrived. But we need to stay and remember that Jesus is our salvation. And no matter what's going on in this world or with us, in our life, which leads me into an excellent verse. This one is from Luke, the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 42. It says, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Now, of course, this is when Jesus is praying right before he is about to endure, and he knows what he's about to endure, preceding crucifixion and the crucifixion itself, of course. And he was praying to the Father, and so Jesus was human as well. So that side of him, I'm sure, is like, and he knows he knows what he's about to endure. So he knows what's coming, and but at the end, yet with all that stress, I can imagine, yet not my will, but yours be done. God's will be done. Something to just remember that we can trust. He is faithful. Hope that helps. Share your thoughts. Let's take care out there. Be aware. God bless you. I'll see you soon.